All right, fellow romantasy lovers, I've been waiting to talk about this one because it completely took my weekend. The epic romantasy finale, Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick, is finally here. And if you're into anything Book Talk is raving about right now, you need this. This is the fourth and final book in the Legacy series, a dark romantasy packed with fae, dragons, shifters, vampires, witches, meddling gods, you name it. And what I love about this world is that it's not your typical medieval fantasy backdrop. Think high fantasy meets modern tech. Magic everywhere, but people are still texting, driving, dating, using computers. It gives big Crescent City vibes in the best way. And honestly, I got so pulled into the emotional roller coaster. The heroine is dealing with depression and anxiety, and the way the story handles her mental health made the stakes feel so real. Plus, the tropes. Fated mates, morally gray chaos, one bed, touch her and die. It's basically a Book Talk bingo card of everything we love. Now, if you haven't read the series yet, this is the series finale, so don't start here. But the good news, all 4 books are out now, and they make such a great gift for that friend who is constantly reading romantasy and keeping up with every online book trend. Dawn of Chaos and Fury is on sale now, available for the first time as a Kensington trade paperback and ebook. So grab your copy and dive into the chaos. You can find Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick wherever books are sold in print and in ebook.
With the holidays right around the corner, it's time for me to start planning all the festive meals and treats for the season. Frozen Washington red raspberries are the ultimate holiday shortcut to flavor, as they are picked at peak ripeness and frozen within hours to lock in their bright, sweet tart taste. I love raspberries in my desserts, and boy does this cran raspberry pecan tart sound delicious. Grown by passionate farmers in Washington state, they're frozen with care to ensure top quality and food safety, and it always feels good to support local American farmers. And here's the best part. They're always in season. When you buy American-grown frozen raspberries, you're getting fresh off the field flavor all year long. You can find them at Costco, Kroger, Meijer, and Winco Foods. Make sure to look for product in the U.S. on the bag. Check out True Fruit Mars Hyper Chilled Chocolate-Covered Raspberries and Smucker's Raspberry Jam. Want to learn more details on where to find American frozen red raspberries plus recipe ideas and cooking tips? Head to redraz.org. That's redrazz.org. You'll find participating retailers and inspiration for every meal, plus info on how these berries go from farm to freezer with quality you can taste.
Hi, I'm Yui Shu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, friends.
Welcome back to the season finale of season 21.
Oh, okay. So we've got over the 21 hump.
But don't worry, we're not going anywhere for the remainder of the year. We will be doing a new series that we're really excited about called The 8 Days of Dating Optimism, which will actually be more episodes. So, end of season 21. We've partied our way out. We had to end early.
We never leave, though. We are the last ones at the party. We don't ever leave. And then we just come back for more partying with you all. Official end of season 21. But just to be clear, it's not been 21 years. Sometimes people think it's like 21 seasons, 21 years. We do multiple seasons a year. It's only been 10 years.
So we will be hitting our official 10-year mark. We did start the podcast slightly earlier, but we launched around Valentine's Day of 2016. So we need to figure out what we're doing for this 10-year anniversary episode, but I think we should bring back some OGs from the very beginning.
You're right. Maybe our first person, our first guest.
We got to do something big.
Yeah, we do need to do something big. And I better get a present. It's our 10-year anniversary. Okay. What is that? The gold
from me?
The silver? Yeah, from you.
I was like, who's this present coming from? Our first guest? He's like,
we should get each other presents.
We should
What is a
actually.
10-year?
Oh yeah, because it's like paper is one.
Yeah, I don't want fucking paper. No thanks.
We haven't celebrated that. I
10-year.
think it's like gold. We should get like gold-plated dateable necklaces.
Oh my God.
You know,
That is
like
such a good
Carrie
idea.
Bradshaw in Sex and the City, her like Carrie necklace. That's what I'm envisioning.
Yes. Oh, tin or aluminum? Hell no.
That's all you get for 10?
Yeah.
Tin?
No. No. You should
Wait,
be
when do you
getting
get gold?
diamonds. I know. It's like when you die, you get gold. When is gold? When is gold? I know there are people listening to this just screaming right now. Like, when is gold anniversary?
So
Okay.
I feel like I never even
50th.
knew. 50, damn. You gotta really hold out. I never really knew about this whole like every year for your anniversary, you do something related. Like I didn't know about this. Like my partner told me about it.
Oh, you've never heard like your
No.
friends do
Is
it?
this
Oh,
like a
okay.
known thing that I was just
Yeah.
like oblivious on?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
traditional thing. I
apparently.
don't know anybody who actually does it, but I've heard it talked about multiple times.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do something
We're
for
gonna do
paper.
10.
Oh, I meant like
You're
in my
Oh,
with
you and
my
your
other
husband.
life partner.
I'm like, no, I'm
Okay,
sending you.
you and
I'm
I, we're doing tin. Actually, our anniversary comes first, so we could do tin for ours.
Listen,
Tin or
yours is so
aluminum?
easy. I'm getting you LaCroix because that's in aluminum.
So, okay, another thing that I have to figure out, speaking of kind of in this realm. So, this, I'm doing this. So, instead of like a white elephant or Secret Santa, so you have to bring something that's like your favorite thing for the
Uh-huh.
people there. So, I'm like stumped because $10 buy-in is the max. But I'm thinking of like things that I love. And I think of like a LaCroix. I'm not going to bring everyone like a LaCroix.
Wait, you have to bring the thing to everybody
Yes.
at the party. So this
Yes.
one thing, it's $10,
Yes.
but you're bringing it 10 times, so it's $100?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So, do you have any ideas for me? Because I'm like stumped.
Things that you love
Yeah. That are under $10 that like other people might actually like.
that other people might actually like. $10
Have you
is
ever played
hard.
this game before?
No, I've never
Okay.
played this game before. My friend went to a My Favorite Things
Oh,
party,
yeah, that's what it is. It's the same thing.
but she only had to bring it once. And she brought magnesium because it is one of her
Wait.
favorite supplements.
So maybe I'm misunderstanding this. I need to clarify.
To bring it
Okay.
to 10 people, though?
Okay, I need to clarify before I show up, but it is my favorite things. And I thought it was 10 favorite things.
Okay, you need to clarify.
I need to clarify. That's what I'm
before
learning from
you
this,
commit
is that I
to-
need to clarify if I'm buying
'cause it's
one or
not
like
making
a
sense.
bunch.
Yeah, she brought one thing of magnesium glycinate to
Interesting.
Favorite Things party.
I'm still not sure what to do though under $10, but not like so cheap, right? Like I'm not like I'm obsessed with Justin's chocolate peanut butter cups. Have you ever had those?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with them. But like it's like $2. I'm not gonna bring that. It's weird.
Why wouldn't you buy 5 of those? Just bring a box of them wrapped really
I
nice.
guess I could bring a Starbucks gift card. That's kind of lame though.
That's lame. Don't do a gift card. Do like an actual physical thing.
Okay, I'm
But $10
struggling.
is hard in
I'm
this economy.
struggling,
What can you
yeah.
get for $10? I was thinking silk eye mask. I love those
Mm,
for the flights and like to fall asleep. But I don't think they're $10. I think those are like $20.
yeah.
$10 is very hard.
Anyways, if listeners, you have an idea, or if you've played this game and you're like, you're butchering it so bad, please let me know.
I think getting a box of those Justins is a pretty good gift.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. And just wrap it really cute.
Yeah. Holiday
got it.
season, though, you are going to Florida. We're both going to Florida, but just
I
in
know,
different
just in
times. I'm like,
different-
wait, I'm
different
also
times.
going to Florida.
Different
So,
weeks.
One of my friends, I was in Boston for the holidays, and one of my friends, my friend Nicole, was like, oh, I think I'm coming to San Francisco. Like, let's meet up. And it's like the day that we're leaving. And she's like, how fun would it be to meet in the airport like lounge? It's like our
What? That's your meetup?
Yeah.
How
it might work.
romantic. That sounds like a really bad Netflix movie. The airport lounge this Christmas. Yeah, we're both going to Florida, and no offense to Florida, I never thought I would be going to Florida this much ever in my life. Just saying. But
Yeah.
as long as I'm with my partner, I think it's going to be an annual thing.
What part of Florida do you go to?
We'll be in Orlando and Tampa.
Okay.
Those are the two. And we're going to not Disney World, but probably one of the little parks.
I'm jealous. No one will go with me there.
Why?
I don't know. No one likes it. I know.
That's crazy.
I want to go. Maybe I should just go solo.
It's the happiest place on earth. Why would nobody want to go? You should definitely just do something. Do like a half day.
Remember when we were going to do it? Like we were going to go to the... So we were supposed to go to this podcast conference in Orlando. And then we thought it was a different conference. And we both were just like, when the year came around, we're like, do we really want to go to Orlando?
It's like first week of January.
It was, I think it was too... So I had just done all the holiday travel. I'm like, do I really want to get back on a plane to go to Orlando? And was it when our book was coming? No, it was the year before that.
Yeah. But we were hoping that if we did go, we would go to Disney World. We planned it that way.
That was part of our plan.
Yeah. That is actually what we prioritize.
Yeah. We're like, let's get an Airbnb that's close to Disney World.
Yeah. Maybe walking distance, whatever. Maybe in the park. Just be in the park.
Stay at the Disney hotel. Are we Disney adults? That's embarrassing.
But no, it never happened. So
nope. I'm not a Disney adult. That's what it means.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should go. Regardless.
Last commentary on this, because some people are please stop talking about this. Last commentary, I just remember in our Facebook group over the pandemic, we were like talking about just like challenges or like things that are like more like local to your city, you know, like different things that come up. And this will stay with me. It's just like people from Orlando were like, industry folks, like people that work at Disney, like you always just meet Disney folks, and I'm like, that is truly something I've never dealt with in dating before. Like,
no,
ever.
But it's the same thing with like SF tech bros. It's everyone's in tech. Yeah,
it's you don't know like who's
industry
under the goofy suit. Yeah.
Ooh, I was dating Mickey last year. Got special VIP treatment.
It is funny. It's like there's so much that's similar in different cities. And then there's always that like one thing that's like slightly nuanced.
Yeah, that is definitely very nuanced for Orlando. Are you from Orlando? Let us know in a rating and review, but please make it 5 stars. We're saying all the nice things about Orlando.
Anyways, though, we are so excited for this guest today. This is such a good banger to end season 21. End it loud and proud. But we have actually someone that I used to follow back in the day. Her name is Sabrina Bendory. And she used to have this publication called A New Mode. And she still has it. It still exists. But I found it probably like right out of college, like early on. And she went to BU. She went to my college. And I just remember like reading all her books. And it was like kind of that like first, like up there with Marnie Batista. I've talked about her before we had her on the podcast. She was like someone that kind of gave it to you real. Like it was like less about like the games and more about like, you know, like getting in touch with your own needs and like staying true to yourself. And it felt like empowering. And when she reached out to us to see if she could come on Dateable, I texted you and I'm like, we have to have her. Like she's like that person that like I remember from back in the day. It's just like kind of surreal when this happens. Like someone that you're like, I remember being deep in the trenches of their content, going through it myself. And now I'm talking to them like 20 years later.
But she's similar age. Yeah,
she is. She just started this like right out of
really
college.
Early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was like shocking when she got on. So we were on her podcast. She has a podcast called You Will Be Okay. And she made some comment like, oh, I'm probably way older than you guys. And it turned out she was like the same age, maybe even younger. I think she was younger than me at BU, like a year younger. And
wow,
I was like,
for her to have all this wisdom
I know.
So early. Like I knew nothing in college.
Well, some of it was like her just going through it and like documenting it.
Yeah. Some of her books include 10 Things Every Woman Needs to Know About Men. Everything
probably
you
got
know.
That one.
Right? Check. Everything
They're all
you need to
in
know.
My Kindle library.
Everything you need to know if you want love that lasts, check. And the art of letting go. And her latest book is called Detached: How to Let Go, Heal, and Become Irresistible.
And that's what we're talking about today, detachment. And it's not what you think. It's not about just giving up and not giving a shit, but it's being okay with not necessarily knowing everything, being comfortable with ambiguity in dating, and relinquishing some of that control, understanding what you can control and what you can't. And I think for me, as someone that is very type A, ambiguity is something I
It's
really, really
hard.
struggled with in dating because
Mm-hmm.
it felt like in all other parts, like if I took X action, I would get like Y results. But
Mm-hmm.
in dating, it felt like I was like giving up my control to another human being. And I was like
Mm-hmm.
waiting for them to text and make moves. And that is absolutely not how it has to be. Learning that and shifting was game changing. But like having that period of like, I can still control my own emotions. Yes, I can't control if they ever text me back or reach out, but I can control my feelings, my actions, my thoughts, my behaviors. That to me was like completely game changing for dating.
And I really blame our society and education system because
Oh,
ever
totally.
since we were kids, everything's results driven. It's about your grades. It's about
Yeah.
how you're ranking in class, but it's not about the experience of learning. And I think by detaching from the outcome, especially in dating, you are now attaching to the experience of dating and not so much what the result is going to be. So for both of us, and I think for Sabrina too, was a lot of unlearning what we were taught growing up and relearning what it's like to just attach to things that truly matter and detaching from the things that you not only not don't have control over, but also like maybe the result you're attached to is not the results that's going to be best for you. Maybe the best is
Right.
still out there and you just don't even know what your options are yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think Detached and How to Be Dateable are the perfect pair, the two books that
Mhm.
we have, because, we don't use the term detachment, but I feel like there is a lot in our book as well. We have like a whole section of like what's in your control, what's not, and just like understanding that you are actually in control, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would.
Mhm. Yep.
So, yeah, I guess we're excited to bring this conversation to you all. It's such a good one. Definitely like keep it in mind. We know like December is kind of that reset month. It's the holidays are all coming. That's why we want to do the 8 days of dating optimism, just set you up to be in a good place on January 1st because that's, new year. That's when all the dating comes full circle. Dating Sunday is like the first Sunday of the year, the busiest day on the dating apps ever. So I'm saying this as like permission to just chill for the rest of December. Like
Yes.
take in info, but don't feel like you have to like do. I just remember when I was dating, like I would try to like make dates like in the weeks leading up to Christmas and the holidays and Hanukkah and all that.
Mhm.
And like no one was around. People would commit and then they'd flake or they would like cancel because, they had shit to do. Or if you did have a connection, they go away for 2 weeks. And then by the
Mhm.
time they're back, it's kind of done, sadly. So I feel like I just got to a point that I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy the holidays. We have a whole episode for
Yes.
people that aired last week about like why being single is the best during this time and all the things you can do when you're single or when you're dating a couple too. So go listen to that and enjoy the holiday season.
And the best way to enjoy the holiday season is, did you know we came out with an app? And the reason why I'm
Yes.
bringing up the app is because it is AI enabled. It's a coaching app where every day you can choose to do or choose to, this is how I've learned some people have used it, speak to the AI coach and have it help you gain some clarity. So as you sit and enjoy the holidays, maybe ask questions like, what are some things I can prioritize for the new year? Help me come up with a love map for
Mm,
what my new year could look like. So maybe you don't need to do the daily activities or challenges, but start putting this energy out there that you are going to restart and gain that clarity come January 1st. I think it's a really helpful tool for that. So you can download the app at studio.com/dateable. You can try it out for 7 days free. It is one of the best things that we've ever birthed into the world. Like, it is our gift
it's
out
so
there
freaking
because
cool. Yeah.
our friends think is pretty damn cool. And we are the ones who train the AI, so it doesn't hallucinate like you would get like on a chat GBT or Gemini.
Or it's
It
not
is
generic either.
it's definitely
Or
not
filled
generic.
with bad dating advice. I'd be like like I would not want to use just like random ass advice from like TikTokers or like people on the internet.
And people do all the time, sadly. And yeah, you can avoid that.
I mean, so many people when I was back for Thanksgiving brought this up to me. Of course, like they're all married and not necessarily in market for a dating coach app, but they thought it was really freaking cool. And I was like, it is so cool because, yeah, it will create a personalized plan for you, which I think actually December is such a good time for reflection and to start the process.
Mhm.
So when January comes, you're ready, you're good to go. And what's so cool about this too is it's all customized based on what you're going through. And it will,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think AI, like, I'm starting to get more obsessed with AI because I think initially I was like, oh, it's just replacing everything. Like, and I think there's a way to make it human that isn't just a replacement for humans. Like, there's a
Right,
way to
right.
leverage it without being a replacement for humans.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, yeah, again, also, of course, How to Be Dateable is out if you're looking for a good read over the holiday break. Always, always a good one. Awesome. Okay, well, before we get into it with Sabrina, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors. When it comes to holiday gifting, I want to give things that people really love. Beautiful, timeless pieces they'll wear for years. That's why I'm going with Quince. From Mongolian cashmere sweaters to Italian wool coats, everything is premium quality at a price that actually makes sense. Quince truly has something for everyone, too. I'm obsessed with their cashmere sweaters, so much that I own 3 of them. They are so soft and luxurious, and they never pill. It feels like they should cost over $200, but they are only $50. What a steal. My whole wardrobe at this point is pretty much Quince. The craftsmanship shows in every detail, the stitching, the fit, the drape. It's elevated, timeless, and made to wear on repeat. I have my eye on their jewelry, pajamas, and robes that are definitely making it on my gift list. I may just need to buy the stainless steel bracelet Apple Watch band for myself too. Find gifts so good you'll want to keep them with Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dateable.
This holiday season, comfort is knowing your home is filled with natural, sustainable comfort for a healthier environment for me and my family. As the holidays fill up with gatherings, travel, and to-do lists, Avocado Green Mattress products can transform your home into a peaceful, grounding retreat made with certified organic and sustainably sourced materials. From breathable bedding to handcrafted mattresses, Avocado is all about true comfort so you can rest, recharge, and wake up refreshed all season long. Have peace of mind that every product is thoughtfully made with the planet in mind, so you can feel good about the comfort and quality you bring into your home. With Avocado, you can enjoy deeper rest, calmer mornings, and a healthier daily routine. And with financing options with Affirm, it's easier than ever to bring avocado to your home. Prioritize rest and recharge with Avocado's organic comfort. Head to avocadogreenmattress.com today to create your natural oasis and save big during the holiday sale. Avocado, dream of better.
Okay, let's talk about the art of detachment.
Many of us have heard of attachment styles, but do you know there could be detachment styles? We're going to define some detachment today and just talking about the general concept of detach, really detaching from the outcome with our guest, Sabrina. Welcome to Dateable.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you because I think, detachment is a concept that we want to dive into more because we always feel like we need to control every situation and we, as humans, hate ambiguity. So I guess from your perspective, what does detachment really mean?
Okay, so there is a lot of confusion around this concept. Detachment does not mean that you are cold. It doesn't mean that you don't care. Detachment is not about detaching from people or emotions. It is detaching from outcomes. It is about knowing that you are worthy and lovable and amazing without relying on the outside world to tell you so. And by outside world, it could be anything. Romantic partners, which a lot of us put so much of our self-worth onto how our men or women responding to me, but it can also be our jobs. It can also be social media, like how people are. It's when you become just so attached to having the world tell you who you are. It's about outsourcing your sense of worth when you're too attached rather than self-sourcing. So detachment is about being able to self-source.
Can you give kind of example of, let's say, a first date? How
Mhm.
do you stay connected and attached on a human level, but then detached from the outcome?
Okay, so you stay attached, meaning you want to establish a connection with that person. And one area where I struggled a lot, where I see a lot of my clients struggling, is the fear and having emotional walls up. The way to combat this is you want to be present. You want to be fully there and present, but you don't want to be in your head thinking, does he also like me? Am I going to hear from him again? Oh, wait, his eyes wandered. Is he bored? Because then you're in a very reactionary place. Then you're not engaging with the person in front of you. You're engaging with the worried thoughts in your own head. How does this person feel about me? You can't connect that way. You're living in the fear. Instead, you attach by being present. I want to learn about this person. On a first date, the only thing you should be thinking is, do I want to spend more time with this person? Not, is this my husband or how does he feel about me? Just, do I want to continue getting to know this person? When you could be in that place, you are so much more magnetic. It's just you're present, and your presence is the most powerful gift you can give someone. And most of us are not present. We're in 1,000 other places,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. I think it's easy to go to like detached equals I don't care. And I don't think that's what you're saying at all. Like, so I guess like what is kind of that misperception of detached, and how do you use this to still be hopeful and go after what you want and not just give up either?
I love that question. Detachment does not mean, oh, I don't care if I never hear from this guy again. Who cares? No, because who's going to feel that way when it's somebody that you connect with and you're like, I feel something. Detachment is, I like this person. I would love to explore this further, but if I don't hear from them, I'll be okay. That's why it's the name of my podcast, because I feel like that's the thing I say more than anything. I will be okay. I'm not going to spiral. I'm not going to fall to the pits of despair. I'm not going to make this tally of every single thing that's wrong with me. I'll be okay. All right, fine. All rejection. We're so scared. We're so scared of rejection. Who says it's a bad thing? Rejection's not a bad thing. We don't want to be with someone who's not the right person for us. All that happened is this person realized it before we got the chance to. Like, we would have realized it eventually. We just didn't get there. And it's knowing. So detachment, the detached mindset is knowing that I'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. And I'm not saying it's an easy place to get to, but when you can get there, you're free. You're free.
I feel like I was in this space last time around dating, and it was
Yeah.
a game changer, an absolute game changer.
Complete game changer. Complete, because you have the freedom to choose. And in the book, in the prologue, I talk about how for my entire 20s, I was so reactive. Everything was in response to how, especially men, because just going back, I really deeply internalized this idea that I am only valuable if a man chooses me, because I was never chosen growing up. So of course, so then my friends were always like the cute ones getting asked out, and they were the ones having boyfriends. And I was like the late bloomer who wasn't experiencing that. So in my very young brain, I internalized the idea that I am only worthy if men choose me. And so I lived in this space of like, am I wantable? Am I desirable? Am I dateable? Right? Like, am I marryable? Like, am I these, tell me. It was constant like outsourcing of like, tell me I'm enough. And first of all, that's exhausting. Who wants to date someone like that? It's exhausting. It wasn't until I was able to turn that around, and I describe that whole process in the beginning of the book, that I felt so much more empowered, and I had that power to choose. And instead, I actually came to a place of realizing I have a lot to offer. Like I am valuable and
Yeah.
I am worthy and I'm okay being single for a while longer. It doesn't make me broken or defective. That's fine. It just means I haven't met my person yet. And once I was in that place, okay, all of a sudden you're irresistible. All of a sudden men from all corners of the earth are coming to you. Whereas it was like a drought for 2 years before that. Then all of a sudden it's like they're coming from everywhere. Not even just that. I remember even like friendships, like all these women wanted to be my friends. It's just such an irresistible energy. And so that's what detachment's all about. And it like changed my life. It sounds like it changed yours as well, Julie. Like once you were able to really embody that.
And part of making a change is understanding why you're doing it in the first place. So
Mhm.
why do you think people get so attached in the first place?
Oh, so that's so layered. I mean, we get so attached, it typically traces back to our childhood. So there's a few reasons. First is we're always going to seek out what feels familiar, even if the familiar is toxic. And so in your home environment, if you were only rewarded for being a certain way, like being the people pleaser, being the good girl, being the perfectionist, being the high achiever, you feel like, okay, this is what I need to do in order to be loved, in order to be worthy of love. And so we get attached because we have these stories in our head, and then someone triggers something within us and reminds us of that space. Typically, I mean, this is what Harville Hendrix talks about in his book, Getting the Love You Want, the book like changed my brain chemistry, how basically whatever pain we have, you're going to keep trying to heal that through your romantic relationships. So we get attached when someone triggers that old wound and we feel like, okay, I need to prove myself to this person and get this person to choose me, where it's replaying a familiar dynamic. Beyond that, getting attached also is just about wanting a feeling of safety, but we go about it the wrong way. So, for example, if you're dating someone and they haven't texted you in a while, it's been hours, maybe it's been days, and you're out of your mind spiraling. And I feel like we've all been there. Like, what happened? What did I do? And you're rereading all the last messages. Like, is it because I said this? Oh, I double texted. It has to be because I double texted. All you want, right? Like, all you want is that person to text you back so you can feel safe again. That is getting too attached. What we want, and the healthy way to approach this, is being able to regulate and realize if he doesn't text me, I will be sad. We're not denying our emotions here. Detachment is not. We do not deny emotions. I will be upset. I'll be disappointed. That will be a huge bummer. I had hopes here, but it just means this wasn't the right person for me. And again, I will be okay. Like I'll be fine. I'll get through it. That's healthy detachment. Finding safety within yourself. And there's all kinds of ways you can do this. Learn to regulate your nervous system. You can move your body. You could do deep breathing, like put your hand on your heart, even just saying to yourself, I am safe. There's no problem here.
Yes.
Because in those moments, it feels like an alarm. Your nervous system is on high alert. You're in fight or flight. You're flooded with cortisol. It feels like you're under threat. And that's a very real feeling. I remember living in that space. So we're the ones, that person is not in charge of your emotional reactions. Yeah, you'll feel better if he texts you back. You'll feel better for 10 minutes until you start spiraling over the next thing, until you learn how to regulate from within. There's no problem here.
So clearly in other parts of life, like we are attached to the outcome too, like in career, like we sometimes want to get the job, we want whatever to happen, but it doesn't feel as like obsessive as dating. At least like from the people we've talked to, I'm sure there's some instances, but as a whole, like dating, it feels like collectively everyone is in these cycles. Why do you think dating has this like level of attachment to the outcome that's in such a higher way than anywhere else in life?
Because love brings up all that is unloved within us. And it's because in dating, I mean, you're actually, you know what? We can also sometimes see this in the work environment. Like your boss yelling at you can definitely trigger an intense reaction of like your father yelling at you. But with dating, there's so much more at stake because you are vulnerable. Your emotions are activated. There's also like a biochemical. There's hormones, there's chemicals. Like you are in the beginning of a relationship, you're literally high like a drug addict. It's the same like neurotransmitters that are at play. And it's also because it summons so much within us. I mean, I remember when I had my infamous summer of me, which I talk about in the book, where that was my period of like, I'm sick of myself. I'm sick of this way that I've been for so long and I'm making a new way of being. And that was when I ultimately learned how to detach. I remember feeling so good about myself and my life and everything was just going right. And I said out loud to my friends, I've come as far as I can possibly go as a single person. Like I'm confident, I feel good. Any more growing that I'm going to do is going to happen in a relationship. Then when I was in a relationship, all new things come to the surface that I didn't even realize were there. And you're not going to know they're there until you have this person and you have a conflict and things are coming up. And then, you work through it in marriage and then you have a baby. And then that baby, I have 4 kids and each one of them hits something different within me, right? They're all going to trigger different things from your child. And it's all still in there. I mean, there's that book, The Body Keeps the Score. The body keeps the score. All of this stuff lives within you. And when the stakes are high, like when you have a baby, when you're in a romantic relationship, it's right there, ready to come exploding to the surface. And so it's a lot at stake. And that's why we get so attached.
The conundrum I see so many people face, including myself, is we've been taught to detach from the outcome. Like, don't worry, you're going to be okay, like you're saying. But then in other teachings, like manifestations and goal setting, you're taught to be very specific about what you're trying to get after, especially in manifesting. It's about having a very clear goal and then imagining you living out that goal, right? That whatever that outcome is. How do you reconcile the two? Because I think there could be some complementary practice in there, but then for a lot of people, it's conflicting.
What a good question. I was just having this conversation the other day, how I do believe in manifestation. I'm not like a big manifestation person. I think my principles and the things I talk about will ultimately help you manifest, but I'm really taking issue with a lot of the manifestation accounts on TikTok. It's too much. It is too stressful. It's too overwhelming. Okay. So like you really need, I told one of my clients, because she came to me spiraling the other day. She's so overwhelmed by all the manifestors and she's like, I'm not doing it right. I'm like, you need a mute. Because you feel like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm never going to manifest.
I'm not getting what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use the example that I'm in my life right now, which is promoting a book, right? This is what detachment looks like in terms of that. I am doing everything I can to get it out there. I'm here right now doing podcasts, posting on social media. That's me having my goal. What's my goal? Obviously, I want the book to sell. I want it to help people. I want it to change lives. Like, I would love it to be number 1. Of course, like everyone reads the book, like we want that. So I'm doing all the things. Now, can I control whether anybody actually buys the book? No. All I can control is doing my part. And that's what I'm doing. And I can have the want, I can have the desire, but I also know if it doesn't pan out, I will be okay with that. Now we can use that and apply it to anything. In terms of manifestation, yes, have your vision in mind. Like I would never say that somebody who is not married or in a partnership that wants that should say, no, I don't want that. Of course, admit to the desire, speak it out loud. I always have my clients do this, like write out what you want your life to look like within the next 3 to 5 years. Take control over what's under your control. What is under your control? How I show up, whether I heal my baggage, my trauma, if I go to therapy, looking my best, being healthy, feeling my best. Maybe I could read books about marriage. I could read 7 Principles of Making a Marriage Work, even though I'm not married yet, because when I am, like, I want to be prepared. That's under my umbrella of control. When it happens, not. And I don't care what manifest your dream life in 3 weeks. That's bullshit. Like, that's not real. Okay. Like we cannot control. Actually, there are some people that seem to be on a very high level. A friend of mine who's a manifestor, like did do some stuff, but maybe the really, really, really high level people can possibly do it. I don't know. I would detach completely from that. And I know several of my very close friends got married way later in life than they ever expected. And if you had told them in their 20s, like, oh, you're not going to have a baby until you're 40, they would have been horrified. But they are so happy with where they are right now. And this was the path. And they're like, okay, now it makes perfect sense to me why I had to date 5,000 guys before I got to my husband. Like, okay, it made no sense at the time. I thought that I was being punished for something, like I had done something horrible in a past life. That's how it felt at the time. So we absolutely can have our vision in mind. In my life, there's so many things that I want and desire, and I have that in mind. And I live in a space where I'm taking control of what's under my control. I want to put out that energy of I am open, I am ready to receive this, which is what manifestation ultimately is about. But we're not God. We don't have magic powers here. Like you can't design exactly specifically how things are going to go.
I think the way I look at it too is it's good to have a goal and a vision of where you want to be, but we can't force the outcome with every last person. Like for instance, I can say, I want a long-term committed relationship. But if this rando I'm dating shows me that they don't want that, instead of forcing it with them, which is something I used to do in my past life, I would
Same.
get attached, remember that first great date or the one thing they said to me. And I would just keep going and be like, they say they don't want a relationship. I could change them. As soon as they spend more time with me, they're going to want one. That to me was like the worst use of your time. And when I switched my like attachment, it was more of like, I still want this end goal, but if you show me you're not the person, that's cool. I'm going to keep moving and be less attached to each person, but still want the outcome I'm looking for.
Yes, that's it. You summed it up. That's exactly what it's about. And I was the exact same way as you. I would take on these projects. I call them damage cases. Some people get offended by this term, but
they're projects, yeah.
Right? Like that's what I
wounded birds.
The wounded birds, exactly. Like I thought that I needed to heal them. And I channeled that into a healthy direction by helping women in their relationships. I'm using that energy onto men and helping to heal them and fix them. No, that's just going to lead you down a path of intense heartbreak because it's not your job, it's not your responsibility. But the reason why we stick in those situations, and one of my biggest breaking points, again, I talk about this in the opening of the book, is I had gone on 2 dates with a guy and we were in similar social circles. We had met and he very politely called me to end it with me. He was like, I don't see it. All right. I was devastated and I refused to let it go. I refused to let it go because I was like, no, we had something. I know we did. I just need to get him to see it too. And it had been such a long time since I'd been on a good date,
right.
like a date that I enjoyed, right? All the other dates was like, I would be getting ready and I would feel like, I don't even want to waste my $30 mascara on this person. Like, I don't, and with him, I was so excited. I'm like, no, I cannot accept this. And for 8 months, we were in similar social circles. Oh my God, I had the way that I degraded myself, just like wearing something super sexy and like, maybe this time, maybe now he'll see. And we ended up in this, not even a situationship. Calling it a situationship would be generous. It was I don't know, pathetic-ationship, delusionship. Like it was, and it was me. I was doing it to myself. Like he could not have been more clear. I like hooking up with you. I don't want a relationship with you. Like he could not have spelled it out more clearly, but I'm like, that's what he says. But what?
Little does he know.
I'm laughing because I had the same situation.
Right. And like, we can laugh about it now, but like as a 29-year-old behaving that way, I as a 29-year-old relationship coach with a successful relationship blog, I felt like a fraud. And I was just like, what am I doing? It was all rooted. First of all, it's rooted in a few things. It was rooted in this like desire to be a fixer. It was rooted in my own attachment wounding. I had a disorganized attachment style. So I could be very anxious with guys who are like avoidant, but I was very avoidant with anybody who really was emotionally available because that felt unfamiliar to me. We're always going to be drawn to the familiar. So there was that going on as well. There was also the fear of like, am I ever going to meet like another tall, hot guy that like is interesting and cool? Like there's none of them out there. Like so I have to hold on to this one for dear life. And that's what keeps us shackled. And I took such a hit. I mean, it led me to my rock bottom, which helped me get out of it. So I guess that's good. But what I put myself through that almost 1 year period was just unbearable.
Yeah. With what we go through just to get to an outcome that I would argue may not even be good for us.
Yes.
So that would be my next question. Is, do you find with your clients and yourselves? I've had friends who are like so attached with this outcome. I had one friend that was like, I need to be married. I need to be engaged, married, and have a kid in 1 year. And she did it all in 1 year. And she was miserable because she thought it would make her happy. She was on a timeline. She she'd start dating someone, got engaged, got married, and got pregnant all in 1 year.
Oh, I did too, actually.
Oh, well, you seem happy.
Yes. Well, I married an ex-boyfriend, so we already like had history.
Oh, you already, yes.
And I was not planning to get pregnant that soon. I was actually always told that it would be very hard for me to get pregnant. So I was like gearing up for this like battle of a lifetime. So I was not expecting to like get pregnant on the first shot. That was shocking to me. But here's the thing with when I was dating before me and my husband started dating, I detached from timelines. I mean, I told you guys I have 4 kids, and it was always my goal to have 4 kids. That was always what I wanted.
Oh.
I loved the idea of like a big family. And so that's always what I wanted. And so for me, being 29, I'm starting to do the math in my head. Like, well, I got to find the guy. Then we need to date for a while. Then we need to be married for a while. Then we need to, like, who knows how long it's going to take to get pregnant? Like, you never know that. So that was stirring up a lot of fear in me. And then I decided I can't engage with those thoughts anymore. It's not taking me to a good place. So instead, actually, this is what I also advise my clients. Again, you have to take control for what's under your control. So what I did that made me feel good was I started saving money in the event that I would need to freeze my eggs. I didn't end up doing it. I probably would have if I had still been single a little while longer because I wanted a big family. I had a nest egg to freeze my eggs, like little nest egg. Like I was putting money aside. So that made me feel like, okay, this is something that's under my control. I could do that. If I want to freeze my eggs, like I was still 29, I was still pretty young, but like I was like, if I want to, that's it. I could be healthier. I could live a healthier lifestyle. Like that will increase my chances of having a baby, but I have to detach from the rest. I also made this plan, who knows if I ever would have done it, that if I was still single by 30, I was going to move to Paris and write a novel. Cause like I love to write and I speak French and I have family there. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Because then it didn't make 30 so scary. It wasn't anymore this like, oh, I have to be married by 30 because of like the biological clock and all this stuff.
Oh, Sabrina in Paris.
Right?
Right? That would have been the show.
Right. I'm like, would I have done it? I guess we'll never know. I mean, I would like to think that I would have, but no, I ended up getting engaged like a month after I turned 30. And I think a big part of it was that my husband was really ready. He was in the right place to settle down. I was definitely in the right, like I told you guys, I said out loud, I am self-actualized. I've come as far as I could possibly go. So I think that's why and we were just so aligned, and that's why things moved pretty quickly, but it was not like your friend. I was not rushing any timelines here. It was just that I had kind of laid a really solid foundation, and then things all just like kind of clicked into place relatively quickly.
I think it's less about like the year time. I know Yue's friend that she's referencing, and it's more about like, I'm just going to have any random person fill this slot because I want to do this and be so attached to like, this must go this way and not be like, do I actually want a future with this person? Can I envision a good life with them? Like giving more of that piece.
Yes. And also like he was a guy that I wanted for 10 years. So it wasn't like a random guy. I had been like, I'd always felt, I don't know, call it like womanly intuition, because I had told people this before. We ran into each other. We just had the craziest story of having these insane run-ins that were like 1 in a million. And there was one time where I saw him, we were in a different country, and I was like, I'm going to marry him. And I felt it. I felt it in my bones. And I spoke to people, I spoke to mentors, and everyone's like, Sabrina, let this go. Like, let this go. Like, he's not even asking you on a date. He didn't even ask for your number. Like, let it go. So, okay. Like, again, I had to detach. There was that like part of me that felt something was there, but the reality was, okay, like nothing's happening. So I just need to let this go. And before we started dating for real is when I really hit that point of like, I had seen him in Central Park. I got all excited, got my hopes up once again. That was like the thing I always did. But I was like, I am not going to paint castles in the clouds this time. I am not going to like get my hopes up. I'm not going to attach to an outcome here. I'm just letting things be what they are. And then it just so happened that was when he, all of a sudden, after 11 years, decided that he wanted to date me again. And very quickly, he knew he wanted to marry me. And we got engaged after 6 months and married 6 months after that.
But see, that's the example. I think that's a perfect example of detachment is you two, if your love story was made into a movie and her love story was made into a movie and we put it on a split screen, your outcome's exact same, right? But your journey to this outcome is very different. She was on this like checklist. Are you in this? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to get married right away? No. Okay, next. That kind of thing. And she had this very linear path to get to the outcome that eventually made her miserable.
Right.
And then you had this roundabout path, even though you are still trying to make your vision come true, but you
Mhm.
weren't attached to, I must have A, B, and C with everybody I meet. Check,
Yeah.
check, check. But
Right.
both of you came to the exact same outcome. And
Yeah.
I use that example all the time when I think about attaching to outcome, how
Mhm.
sometimes you only know what you know. And sometimes when you get the outcome you want, it may not actually be the outcome that is good for you.
I would
Yes.
also guess, Sabrina, too, like if you were in that first mode that you were talking about of just like, this is my person, I don't care, like I'm attached to this happening, like it probably wouldn't have actually happened.
No,
No.
because it didn't happen so many times before that. There was just like an energetic shift
Yeah.
within me. And I have to tell you guys something really funny. My husband, like a month or two ago, was like, when we dated the first time, there was there was something about your eyes that was different. And I thought he was saying
Oh.
there was something better. Like, I was like, well, we have 4 kids. Like, I'm tired. He's like, no, 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 that's not what I mean. I was like, did I wear a lot more eye makeup? He's like, no, 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 like that's not what I mean either. He's like, you used to do something with your eyes. And then like he's such a sweet guy. And then I realized, no, he's not saying that this is something positive. It was something negative. And I was like, are you saying that I had crazy eyes? He was like, yeah, yeah, like that's what it was.
Oh my
And
You
goodness.
I
looked
was
like a stalker the
I
first
was
time
like,
around.
he was like, there was something with your eyes. And what do they say? Eyes are the window of the soul. I was
Mhm.
just so out of sorts. And like
Yeah.
he couldn't,
Uh-huh.
and people feel that. I was emotionally messy. I was emotionally leaky. The way I describe myself in the book is I was a reptile. I couldn't generate heat from within. I needed external sources of heat.
Mhm.
And people pick up on that
Yeah.
in every area. In a job interview, when you're coming from a place of desperation, the person
Yeah.
interviewing you feels that, and they're like, "Why is this person so desperate for this job? Like
Right.
that they're probably not qualified.
They're
You
like,
know,
this
I should
job
go."
sucks. Why do they care
Right,
so much
right,
about getting
right,
Yeah.
it?
right.
Mhm.
Like they must really not be able to find anything if like they're so desperate for this job. So it comes across in anything. But yeah, there was that energy
Yeah.
that was oozing out of me. And people don't realize that people like it doesn't matter even if someone seems completely emotionally obtuse, people can feel the
I
place,
agree.
the space that you're coming from.
I want to dive into this even more, but before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our partners.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. My favorite thing about the holidays? Decking out my whole house. It's not a competition, but if it was, well, I'd win the season with Wayfair. Outdoor inflatable Santa? Got it on Wayfair. Trees, lights, and ornaments? Wayfair. Hosting must-haves like dining sets, beds, sheets, and towels? Wayfair. For everything in your style delivered with fast and free shipping, visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app to win the season. But again, it's not a competition.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Imagine having a dating coach in your pocket 24/7 and a daily guide so you're never lost. That's exactly why we partnered with Studio.com to create the Finding Your Person coaching app. Now, we were blown away by their AI technology that creates a completely customizable experience based on exactly what you're going through. After 10 years of doing Dateable, we kept hearing the same thing. I wish I had support in the moment when I'm actually dealing with this stuff. So we finally created it. And honestly, we've been so excited about this launch because it brings together the tech we've always wanted, everything we've learned from talking to thousands of daters, and the core content from our most popular course, Finding Your Person, the one that sells out every single time. And inside the app, you'll follow a personalized journey designed to help you get clear on what you want, build real confidence, and break the patterns that keep tripping you up. You'll get quick audio lessons, guided reflections, and simple real-world challenges that make dating feel intentional without the pressure. And there's even AI-powered audio journaling for real-time feedback and encouragement, a coach you can talk to, and insights to identify patterns and growth. Give it a few months and you'll see the difference. Less spiraling, more clarity, and a dating approach that actually feels hopeful and grounded. It's like having a wise, honest coach at your disposal. If you're ready for support that actually sticks and transforms, go to studio.com/dateable and start your journey with the Finding Your Person coaching app today.
Well, something similar happened with my ex. That's not who I married, but we did give it another shot like later. And this was like after years of doing this podcast. When we first dated, it was before we started this podcast. And he was like, you're different. Like there's just like a difference to you. And I think a big piece of it was that I wasn't trying to force it as much. I was more like, okay, I'm going to give this another chance and see if like we can make it work. And if we can't, then I have my answers and I'm going to move on once and for all. And I think what being detached helped me do too was speak my mind a bit more. I think in the past, I never wanted to speak up. And I always was like, I don't want to rock the boat because if I say something that's going to upset them, this could all fall apart and be over. And then I realized like, if I say something that I'm thinking and it all falls apart, then it was meant to fall apart. Like the right relationship is going to withstand that. And honestly, in my current relationship, that's been like the biggest shift is that like, I can say what's on my mind and we work through it if it's something that like, is a conflict.
Yes. Yeah. You are such a testament to the power of detachment. Like everything that you've been sharing so far.
I get it. That's why we wanted to do this episode. Because I'm like, I see it. I get it. And I think UA is the same way also. Yeah.
Yeah. You lived it. It's so freeing when you're not like afraid to speak your mind, to say what it is that you need. And to again, know that if this person can't meet me where I'm at, if this person can't treat me the way I deserve, I'm okay with leaving. I don't need to subject myself to something that's beneath me. It's the most empowering place to be.
So I think I'll speak for myself. I'm curious, UA, your thoughts too. But like, I think for me, one was confidence. One was just, continuing to talk it out on this podcast and realize what is important to, and what matters, all that. But I think a third piece was that like, I'm very type A. And I felt like the one thing that bothered me in dating, and we were kind of talking about like before, like why is a job so different than dating? Like in work, I always felt like it was in my power. Like I could control it. I could find another job. I could build the right skills. But in dating, it felt very out of my control. Like I was relying on this person to choose me and to pick me.
Right.
And clearly there's a shift because like we were saying, when you get into the mode of I'm going to be the chooser, then you're very much actually in control. You're just changing that viewpoint. And I think that was really instrumental for me because I'm still type A, haven't changed. But I think like I realized like what I could control and what I couldn't. But I think that was something like in the past, I'm like, well, if I stare incessantly at my phone, then they're going to text me like thinking I could control that. And then realizing like that is so out of my control. And the only way to get that text, if I want to really talk to this person, is for me to send it.
Right. Or for you to just completely detach from the outcome and say, you know what, like I'm going to go do something that just makes me feel good, that really puts me in touch with myself and with my essence. And, when you're struggling in an area like relationships, that's how it can feel. Like this is beyond my control. But so many people experience the same thing when it comes to money. They might try everything and feel like this is out of my control and money's not coming. Or with jobs. I know many people struggled immensely where sometimes I feel like we all have our points of struggle in life. We all do. For me, it was absolutely relationships was like the biggest area where I just couldn't get it right. And a lot of the women I work with are the exact same way. But if there's anything in your life that's out of reach and you are just clinging desperately to like, I have to have this thing, that's usually what pushes it away. It's really when, there's so many books about money. They're not really just about, invest like this, save like this.
Right. It's
what are they about?
Yeah.
Psychology. What's the number one money book? The Psychology of Money. Because it's all about mindset. And again, it's the same thing. It's detachment. I could have written the same book just about money or about anything. Do you also notice that, like I know several people this has happened to, where they're trying to have a baby. Like they're trying.
Yes.
And then they decide to adopt. They adopt a baby.
Then they have a baby.
Happened to Charlotte on Sex and the City.
Yeah.
But like, I know people that this real life happened to.
Yeah.
And then they get pregnant. It's so, no doctor can even really explain why that happens.
Right.
It's just that internal shift of like, okay, I'm detaching. I'm not forcing this.
Stress reducing too.
For sure. Stress reducing. Yeah.
And feeling safe.
Right. And then you can receive. And it's the same in relationships. When we're stressing over the text, we're stressing, it just doesn't come. And when you just relax, it creates an environment where love can land. And that's the shift. I'm not woo-woo. I'm very much like grounded in reality, but I am kind of a little bit woo-woo because there is so much that we can't explain, that science can't explain. There are so many fascinating studies just on mirror neurons, how just watching someone's facial expression for a few milliseconds, less than a second, you can't even consciously process what you saw, has an impact on how you're feeling. You're not even consciously aware of it. So if you're coming from a place of desperation, choose me, pick me, love me, remember Meredith Grey, the other person can feel it and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to just be filling a slot. It doesn't feel good for like, okay, yeah, she desperately wants me, but she would probably take anyone because she just wants to be wanted. She wants to be chosen. This has nothing to do with me. Also, nobody wants to be responsible for someone else's emotional well-being entirely. Of course, your partner should be mindful of your needs, your emotion, of course, all those things, but no one is responsible for your emotional well-being other than you. Like that's your area of control. That's something that you need to take ownership of. And once we do that, it all just unfolds so much more seamlessly. Like there's no force, there's no chase, there's no stress, there's no obsessing, there's no overthinking.
It's unfortunate, though, that we live in a society that's merit-based and we are brought up in an environment that is linear. Think about schooling, like education. You know exactly the path you're going to. Once you finish first grade, you go to second grade.
Right.
Same with careers. If you get these certifications in education, you finish this level analyst, then you become analyst 2. There's like a path.
Right.
And that for many of us, if you follow this path in every other area of life, you get to that next level. But in relationships and love, there is no clear path. The only thing we know to get to is marriage and kids. Like that is the only graduation that we see.
Right.
So for anybody who's kind of delineating from that, it is hard to understand what am I in this for. So by detaching to an outcome, what I'm trying to say is we have to live in some sort of ambiguity. How do you coach people through living in the gray? Because it is very hard to do.
The thing that I say is get comfortable being uncomfortable. And for those of us who are type A, we have to know. We have to know everything. This is where I started my career. I started my career studying men and male psychology, male behavior. Why? Because I wanted to be able to predict everything. I wanted to know if I'm on a date with him, is he going to call me back? And I got good at it. It took me some time to realize that it takes more to be good at relationships than just understanding male psychology and understanding what men are thinking at all times. But you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable and doing the inner work, not comfortable. Putting yourself out there, not comfortable. Not knowing exactly how things are going to go, not comfortable. But anything in life that's worth having is not comfortable. It's not, waking up early, getting a head start on your day, not comfortable. Exercise, not comfortable. Like these things are not comfortable. But when you can embrace that, that's where the growth happens. And in terms of like what you said about the gray area, I for anyone going through it, I just want you to know that I have so much empathy and I wish I could hug you all and cry with you because I know how hard it is to desperately want something and it's just beyond your grasp. And the most empowering place to be is first to humble yourself and to know that this is all going to make sense eventually. I'm not there yet, but eventually the dots will all connect and I'll look back on this and I'll laugh about it. That's part of it. Next is you have to take control over what is under your control. That's it. Like that's the empowering way to live. The most disempowering place to be is living life in the waiting room. Living in the waiting room, waiting for the guy, waiting for the money, waiting for the promotion. You're helpless. You're just absolutely helpless. And when you're helpless, what happens? You become depressed and you live in absolute despair. So you can acknowledge, and you should, again, like I said earlier, always acknowledge your emotions. This is hard. This is frustrating. This is not where I want to be. But I'm going to embrace everything about being single. And I'm going to do everything under my power to maximize my chances of finding the one. Again, comfort in the discomfort. I'm going to put myself out there more. If I see a cute guy, I'm going to go up to him and talk to him. That is not comfortable, but do it anyway. I tell my clients all the time, just do it. Who cares? What's you have to, he's going to reject you. Ooh, like big deal. Who cares? Right? Like we make it like the end of the world. It's not. Put yourself out there, advocate for yourself, ask people, like, don't just rely on the apps. That's the worst thing the apps, yes, use them. They're helpful. That's not your only tool here. There are many tools. Put yourself. So that's how you take charge. I always tell my clients, also my followers, like, you want to maximize your chances? Get out there, not to the bars, to the world. anything. Get into pickleball, volunteer work, go to a book club. Maybe you're not going to meet your man there or your partner there, but you'll meet someone who knows your partner. If you work from home, go work in a coffee shop a few days a week. Be out there in the world and be open, be receptive, be friendly, be approachable, and just go for it because you have nothing to lose. So again, what's under your control? Relinquish the rest.
So for the type A dateables, how do you let go? Because I feel like, yes, it's easy to say all this, but like, what are some like maybe, I don't know, techniques or ways that you can put this more in practice?
Okay, for the type A dateables, who I've worked with many and I love them. I love that they come to our sessions with their spreadsheets and they're like, okay, like this is every single guy that I've dated. This is da-da-da. Okay, so first and foremost, we always want to be aware, self-aware. We always want to be working on ourselves and growing. We always want to be learning from our past relationships. So I think that the type A's, you can absolutely take like a business-minded, action-oriented approach to dating. Like it goes back to what I was saying before. Everything that's under your control, go for it. And sometimes with the type A's, they're a little bit reserved emotionally, a little bit fearful because again, that loss of control, like a lot of the type A's like to hold on to that. So I would say practice being more vulnerable, practice opening up a little bit more, even if it's to friends, practice like leaning into your softness a little bit more and not into like the harshness and like the toughness, even though like that might serve you well in career and dating. This is another thing sometimes I see with the type A women is they're a little too forceful, like a little too action oriented.
Yeah.
Like they might take it to an extreme. And a man, I mean, I'm speaking to women now, but like a man needs some space to pursue you. And I'm not saying like you're just waiting around for him to do all the work. Absolutely, as a woman, like show interest, make it clear, send those green light signals right on over. But with these type A's, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, no, I texted him, I planned the date, I picked the place. Unless you want to date someone super, super beta, which a lot of them don't, that's not going to work. Like he needs some space to pursue you and to feel like a man. So I would watch the alphaness. Again, I would lean into that like feminine energy, that softness, that energy. Feminine energy really is just release, letting things be. Masculine energy is much more of like that doing, going for it, pursuit, goal oriented. Again, it's not always comfortable. It's not always easy, but it's freeing. And this is the path towards happiness. But how did you do it as a type A, actually? Because I know that you had your, what would you say like was the biggest shift for you?
I mean, I think it was the mindset of like, if this is right, like I need to give it a little space too. Like, I don't think regardless of your gender or your sexual orientation, no one wants to be the one that's like holding the relationship together single-handedly.
No.
And I think I got to a point that I was like, that isn't what I want. I want a partner that meets me, a partner. And instead of feeling like I needed to force something down the path, it was more to that level of like, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to, do what I can control. And sometimes that would be actually taking initiation. And I think that's like okay to some degree. Like there's a big difference of initiating versus being the sole initiator for every last thing. And sometimes actually it was just getting my answer was really helpful. Like learning that like, okay, this person actually doesn't want to continue. And instead of trying to force them, like I was talking about earlier, letting them go and moving on my journey. So I think that was a big piece of it.
Yeah. And that's amazing. I feel like you embodied exactly what I was saying, which is like embrace the areas that are under your control and just relinquish the rest. And know that, some people don't like hearing this, but I do believe that there's a greater plan that like, not whatever higher power there is of your understanding. I do believe that like there is a greater plan and we have to humble ourselves to know that like, we're not always going to know exactly what that is. We're not always going to know why it took so long or why it didn't work. And I think sometimes some of these things are connected to like our past lives. Like I'm kind of like a believer in that as well, that all right, some of us have it way harder than others. And there's a choice. The choice is I could despair and I could say it's not fair. Why is she married like the first guy she ever dated? Why does she have so much success with this? Why is it so easy for everyone else? It's so hard for me. That's a very disempowering way to live. The more empowering way to live is, okay, like this is my life. This is my journey. This is what it is. And I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to embrace it for what it is. And if it's hard, I'm going to embrace the hard.
But here's a question I'm sure you get all the time, because
Mhm.
we get this all the time. And it's always the most challenging question we have to answer is
Uh-huh.
how do you relinquish? How do you let go? How do you only control what's in your control, but you're feeling the biological clock?
Okay. Yes. And I do get this question all the time. Okay. First of all, just in terms of relinquishing control, which we've been talking about a lot, a big part of it is choice. Like for the type A girls, for anyone, like it's a choice. You have to decide. You have to decide, I'm going to let go of what is not under my control. In terms of the biological clock, age doesn't mean the same thing that it used to. And even though like I had 2 of my babies after 35 and they are going to write geriatric on all of your paperwork and that's going to hurt your feelings, but it doesn't mean the same thing that it used to. I know 2 people I'm very close to that had their first babies at 50. Now, was that a different path? Was that maybe more of a financial investment? Yes, absolutely. So what can we do if we want to have babies? Freeze our eggs. Obvious one. If you can't afford to freeze your eggs, you can save up money in order to freeze your eggs. I mean, I know I have friends who, paid it off over an extended period of time by like paying for it on credit. You could get healthy. There is a lot. First of all, go to your doctor, get a full, because doctors don't always do this, get a full blood panel done. Make sure your vitamin levels are good. They're going to tell you that you're deficient in vitamin D and they're going to tell you it's not a big deal. Make sure your vitamin D levels are good. Like this is one thing I have such issues with doctors because a lot of my kids had like these random health issues. And then I was the one that solved it with vitamin D. And like, they're
vitamin
always
D solves everything.
it does. And they always
That's my
tell you,
learning.
because I'm always deficient in vitamin D. They're like, oh, but everyone is. Don't worry about it. I'm like,
No, we need vitamin D.
We need vitamin D. Like, I know, I take such issue with this. Get your hormone levels checked. My hormones were completely out of whack for a while. So that's something we can take control of, being as healthy as possible. I'm not a medical professional here, but I'll tell you, like, there are certain supplements. One thing I'll say, because it's just been proven so many times over, coenzyme Q10 is known, and I took this with like my later pregnancies, is known to preserve egg health. Obviously, eating a healthy diet, obviously exercising. Those are all within your realm of control. And accepting that, like, okay, it might be unconventional. However it is that you have babies, but there are just modern science today is unbelievable with what they can do. And we haven't caught up to that. We really haven't. And so we're still scared of 35 when it just doesn't mean the same thing that it used to mean. So that's what I would say in terms of the babies.
I'm glad we addressed it though, because it is a real part about moving to this place of trusting your timeline.
Right.
And I do think there is this shift though. And like when you were asking like what changed for you, I think a big part of it was trusting and moving to that. Like, how do you help people get to that place? You talk about like in your book, this concept of like micro surrenders. So I love that. I'm curious, like how actionable would you give people to like go about trusting more?
In terms of trusting, this looks different for different people. I work with every single religion that there is. And so in terms of trusting, when you are someone who's more religious, that is easier because you can surrender to a higher power. And there is like a lot to that. In terms of trusting, it's a choice. We have to realize that we have choices, and those choices really determine our mental health, our day-to-day existence. I can choose to be devastated that I am whatever age and I'm not married and I don't have babies. And I could choose it is a choice. I mean, it is a choice to go down that hole of being really angry and really, really feeling despair and live in that space. Or I could choose to recognize that this is hard, but at the same time, trust that it's going to work out for me, because you're making a choice either way. You're making a choice either way. Most people are choosing the negative choice that causes all the problems, which is, well, I'm just going to like seep into misery. And I understand that temptation. We're always going to gravitate towards what feels familiar. And for a long time, the story that I told myself was that things don't work out for me. Everything is hard for me. And I lived in that space, and that made me a victim. It made me a victim of circumstances. So like, I hope that I don't sound like preachy, because I am not. I've lived it. I've been through like the depths of it. Nothing has ever come easy to me except for getting pregnant, which everyone told me wouldn't. But like, and I acknowledge that, and I'm grateful for that. But like, nothing has ever come easy in any way. I mean, I'll write a good memoir someday, but it had been so much struggle. And there have absolutely been periods where I just seeped into that and lived in that misery, which felt like a warm, cozy hug because it was so familiar to me. Like, oh, misery, I know you. Happiness, I don't know you. I don't know what you're about. I don't understand the happy people. And for me to get out of that it's a choice. It's a daily choice. It's a daily practice. And I could sit here and complain to you for the next hour of everything going wrong in my life. And that would be easy for me. Like that would be an easy one for me to sit for an hour and think what's right in my life. I can also do that. That's not as comfortable. That's not as natural for me. I force my clients to do this all the time. They hate it because they're like, no, but it's so hard. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what's easy. Tell me what's good. Tell me what's going right. It's hard. It's unnatural. It's unfamiliar. But our happiness is a choice, and it comes down to a multitude of choices that we make every single day. And the biggest one is, what thoughts am I going to engage with? For example, you can't control what thoughts pop into your head. So you might have the thought of like, I'm never going to find someone. I'm going to end up alone. Okay, that's the thought. We can't control that. That's going to come. Now, here is where your choice is. Your choice is either to replay every failed relationship and every situationship and every guy that ghosted and like it's so hard and dating's so awful and none of the guys are responding to me on the apps. We could go down that spiral. Or your other choice is, yeah, it is tough to be single right now. I want to find someone. And I know that I'm on my way. I'm getting there. I'm going to find things. Everything's going to work out for me. Doesn't that just feel so much better? And like, that's where our choices lie. And you can do this throughout the day. And I would challenge anyone listening to write down like those negative thoughts whenever they pop into your head. And you'll notice, wow, I am really consumed with like negativity. And to really be mindful of how much energy, like you want to get that fear out of there. You want to get that negativity out of there. You have to starve it, out. And the way that you do that is by not feeding it your mental energy, because it'll just keep living there and it'll keep cycling through you. And most people think the same exact thoughts every single day. If you want to feel better, you want to feel different, you have to think different. And it's work. It's not always easy, but like it is possible. And the reward is so great.
I love that. Hypothetical question. Let's say you're not married, you don't have kids, and you still want that in your future. What would be your 30-day dating plan starting today?
Oh, wow. What a question. Okay. So you're not married. You still want kids. Okay. First, I would spend about half an hour writing down what you want your life to look like within the next 3 to 5 years. And this is not about, I want my husband to have like a full head of hair and blue eyes, 6'5", finance guy. No, like not like that. Think about it emotionally, how you want to feel, how you feel when you wake up in the morning, your role in the community, your career, like really, really paint a picture, make it super, super granular. I want you to have a vision in mind of who you want to be. Like, what is the ideal version of myself? What does she look like? How does she carry herself? Like, what is she like when she walks into a room? How is she on a date? Okay, I'm going to take steps towards being that person. I would say if you're going to do this for 30 days, I would say get pretty aggressive on the apps. Why not? Sign up for all of them. Have fun with it. Release the fear of rejection. This is like a 30-day challenge. Have fun with it. Just message who you want to message. I would say challenge yourself to get out there more. I would say also like every day, if we're really good, let's just like go all in with this. Every day, dress as if you're going to meet your husband that day. So like just because this just makes you feel so good, right? Like to just like put yourself together, put yourself in an outfit you love, like do your hair, leave the house every single day. Like today's the day I'm going to meet my husband. Get out of the house as much as humanly possible. Be out there, be seen, sign up for singles events. There are so many cool singles events these days. Like a client of mine went to like a murder mystery singles event type of thing. Wow. There's also like, oh my gosh, what are those things called where you're like in a room and you have to like figure out how to get out? Escape room. Yes. Yeah. That one. Speed dating events. I would say go to your network, talk to anybody. Hey, do you have someone for me? This is not desperate. This is, you know what is desperate? Being too scared. Cause like thinking, oh, like they're going to think that I'm pathetic. No, it is confident to say, hey, like I'm looking for someone. Have your elevator pitch, your quick elevator pitch of like, this is ideally what I want. Another thing, you want to get really clear on your must-haves, your deal breakers, and your preferences. If you have trauma baggage, whatever it is. We want to identify what that is. What is the reason? Where am I getting stuck in my love life? Is it because I'm too anxious? Is it because I'm too avoidant? Then you're going to find a therapist to help you work through that. If you really want to up the ante, also work with a coach. Pretty much every client I work with also has a therapist. I find that it makes things move along much faster. And also, okay, I could keep going forever because now I'm like every single coaching tool is
this is so much.
It's like 30 days. We're packing it in.
Yeah, we're packing it in. I would also say, I could go, honestly, you're it's all coming rushing to me. I would also say, set a meaningful goal for yourself, really something that you're working towards, because we don't want to just be so consumed with the dating. We also want a meaningful goal. So if I want to work on learning a new language or running a marathon or learning how to cook or learning how to
That's
bake.
outside of dating.
That's outside of dating because we need something outside of dating. We don't want to put too much pressure on the dating. I would say start there. And also being grateful every single day. Thinking, if you really want to up the ante, I would say do the 18-day gratitude challenge, where every day for 18 days, you write down 18 things you're grateful for. This just, it literally rewires your brain. And this book happened because of that challenge. It's like a whole other side story. I would say start there. And if anything, you will feel like a completely different person by the end of it.
I mean, I think that's really the key of what I'm taking away from this whole conversation. I always gravitate to this quote of choose your hard. And it's you can spend all your time, obsessing over these things that are out of control or, why things are hard and not going your way, or you can jigger that into what you can't control. And I love the examples that you gave in this conversation, because some of them were so tangible of I mean, some of it is mindset, and that's a little abstract, but some of it was okay, I can put towards a savings plan for egg freezing. That's so tangible. And I think there's so much here of this detachment of things having to look the way I thought with every person and my expectations, but then also having the larger vision. No one is saying to get rid of that, very much keep that. And I think of detachment as actually a way to honor that, but to also not fall into situations that are less than what you actually deserve. So yeah, I think they go very hand in hand, detachment, but then also the larger intentionality and vision.
It's really self-worth, and it's about stopping the self-sabotage, because once you build self-worth, you don't self-sabotage anymore. And once you can tackle those areas and also really build self-awareness, you end up in this place of detachment. And then all the pieces click into place. And I really tried to structure the book so that it builds one piece after the next. Each chapter has very actionable exercises, journal prompts, affirmations, visualization exercises that you can do to really take you to that next level and just put all the pieces together.
Yeah, very actionable. I think the one actionable takeaway I've heard you say on this episode is make a choice. And I love that, because having that clarity in just making a choice, it's not about making the right choice. A lot of times it's making a choice so you understand how you feel about that choice. Most of us are in the waiting room waiting for a choice to be shown to us. And then we just live in that confusion. That's the confusion. That's the gray area we don't want to be in. But when you make a choice, and actually productivity experts will say this, when you scroll on your phone unintentionally, you feel guilty because you feel like you're wasting your time. Yeah. But if you slot that time to doom scroll, I'm making a choice to scroll on my phone for 15 minutes, you feel better and you feel more productive.
That's
because
so
you
true.
actually scheduled it. Yeah. So I think that I'm living by this motto every day of I just need to make a choice. And it may not be the right choice, but at least I'm getting answers and some clarity from it.
I love that. Yeah, that's so true. And the answer to every question I've been noticing lately is that you have to choose it. People always ask me, how do I get over a breakup? I'm like, you choose, you decide,
Right.
You decide to be done. We're not always ready to be done. There's all kinds of reasons why we hang on to an ex and we're not ready to let it go. It's usually meeting some sort of need, but you choose it. How do I become a woman of high value, or a black cat, or whatever? Although I don't love that term black cat. I feel like it's gotten distorted. I feel like it's become
I don't think I've heard
black cat.
this.
The black cat.
Black cat? No.
What?
Enlighten us.
Really? So the black cat and the golden retriever is a trope for
I've heard the golden retriever.
The golden retriever
one.
Okay. Well, the black cat is the counter to the golden retriever. She's the woman who basically, have you guys reys read the book Why Men Love Bitches?
Yes.
I think you have, because you talk about it in your book. Okay. She's that. Okay. But it just got in TikTok, it got translated into the black cat.
Yes.
And I think,
okay.
Yeah. So where were we even going with that? Oh, so the black cat trope is just like this woman, she's like super detached. No. Like that's not what we want. In terms of like the high value woman, people also get very triggered by this term. It doesn't mean anything externally about you. It means that you value yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
to clarify, we're not
Yes.
getting upset about it. It just means that you value yourself.
But
Right.
you
Doesn't
make
mean
that
you like
choice to
have
be
all
that.
this money
Yes.
and like,
no,
we,
it doesn't mean
yeah.
you're like 5'10" and a size
Right.
2 and
Yeah.
blonde hair down. No, like everybody gets so mad about that term, but like, no, it just
Yeah.
means you value yourself. That is a choice. That's a choice.
Yeah.
Like that's
Mhm.
step one. Obviously, there's more parts to it, but you're not going to get anywhere unless you decide. That was the big turning point for me, which was deciding I don't want to be this pathetic, like desperate, needy. I don't want to be this. Everything that I'm doing, like self-sabotaging, like a saboteur of my life. I don't want to keep getting in my own way and ruining my own life. So I started with a choice. Then the choice had to be followed up by action. So like
Right.
you can have the epiphany. The epiphany is, like I don't want this anymore. But then it has to be followed up by steps. Like the breakthrough really comes when you're in the situation that you've been in before and you start to choose different.
Right.
And you start to say, oh no, Kevin is what I call that guy who dumped me after the 2 dates, Kevin the damage case. Like, no, when I see him again, I am not going to try to seduce him. Instead, either I'm going to leave. If I can't handle being in this vicinity and it's going to make me go into chaser mode, I'm going to leave. Or I'm going to just completely orient myself to like a different part of the room and not go down that path again. Or if he tries to start something up with me, I'm going to say no and I'm going to mean it. Like,
Right.
that's where the breakthroughs happen, in those choices every day. When I have that choice, when that thought comes into my head, like, who do you think you are? Like, no one's going to want to marry you. You're never going to find somebody. I could engage with the thoughts. I could feed it. I could fuel it. Or I could say, that's not true.
Right.
You're lying to me. You're lying to me. That is not true. And I can say, I am worthy. I have so much going for me. It's not easy. It's not natural. It's not comfortable, but that's where you change. That's where the change happens.
Yes.
It's the choice and then the actions that support the choice.
Love it. So for
Fantastic.
anyone that wants to get a copy of your book, where can they go and learn more?
They can go, it's available on Shop Catalog. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Apple Books. You can go to my profiles on social media. I'm at Sabrina Bendory on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And my podcast is You Will Be Okay.
Love it.
And we will all be okay.
Yes.
After this.
I hope so.
Everyone, that's the takeaway. We'll all be
Yes.
okay.
Well, thank you, Sabrina, for being on Dateable. So wonderful to have you as a guest and so wonderful to just have this conversation. I think all of our listeners will have so many takeaways to put into action after this. And for all of you who are listening, if you enjoyed this episode, why don't you go on Apple Podcasts and give both of our shows 5 stars and give us a nice glowing review. And in it, give us one takeaway that you're going to start implementing today. We want to hear from you. And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode. Stay dateable.